This man is Lucas Richard. Lucas is currently in Liberia right now on a missionary trip. However, also Lucas is also in Liberia right now under arrest in police custody, and here is why. Lucas was sent to Liberia on a missionary trip by this church called Creekside Church from Urbandale, Iowa. So when Lucas got to Liberia while he's on his missionary assignments, he met this young lady by the name of Jessica Lloyd. So when he met Jessica Lloyd, so when he met this young lady, Jessica Lloyd, they both became sexually involved sneakily. So they're sneaking around, having, being sexually involved. And in that process, she have gotten pregnant. So when she got pregnant, she went home and told her parents she's pregnant. And pregnant by who? The man that they know as the white man of Lucas, who is their teacher in that church. So after she told her parents, now she's already pregnant. I guess since her parents are Christian as well, they don't believe in abortion. So now she's already pregnant by a white man who apparently is a well-known, renowned man in the church. So they decide to officiate both of them. And Lucas also agreed to marry her because he felt as though they don't want to be living in sin. So he wanted to get married to her and make things right to the parents, the girl, and the lords and everything else. So they went, but Lucas also required or requested that they have a traditional wedding. As we can see, this is them doing a traditional wedding. The plate that's a collard. They break the collard nut. They say the vow. Both of them eat the collard, and that's how I go about that. But wait, Lucas also married, so that little girl Jessica was going to be his second wife. So Lucas have his wife in Iowa back home while he was in Liberia on a missionary trip. So after the traditional wedding, the word have gotten back to the church and the people about what Lucas was doing back home. So the church told him to end everything and come back. So Lucas decided to take matters into his hand in the sense of end everything, as in doing things the unconventional way, right? So this young girl was going through the pregnancy and symptoms, having a lot of pregnancy symptoms such as, spading, feeling nausea, can't keep anything down when she eat, going through that. So Lucas told her that he have some supplements for her to take that can help her get rid of those pregnancy symptoms. So in the supplement that Lucas had was an injection. So Lucas gave her a injection, a shot of something, right? So after a couple of days, the little girl started experiencing discharge, and she started, she started bleeding, discharging tissue coming out of her. So apparently, whatever that Lucas had given her, it was something to terminate the unborn child. So while he did all that, no one in the family suspected him as doing it. They just look at it and maybe it's just a normal miscarriage that that was happening because maybe it was a first pregnancy, so it's normal first pregnancy. So no one suspected him because what he told the family, told her that he was giving her things to help with her pregnancy symptom. It wasn't anything for to cause miscarriage. So they didn't have no thought that's what it was that he did. So after Lucas have done all that, the little girl went through the process, she recovered and everything else. So now Lucas was planning to come back to the States. So Lucas had gotten his ticket to come back to America now. I guess his trip was over, or he's probably coming back to visit his family. So Lucas decided to visit his wife in Liberia, the little girl Jessica, now for the last time. Even though they both were married, they wasn't living together because now Jessica now was back home with her parents while Lucas was away on his missionary business in different side of the town. So he came back to her parents to pick her up, to take them out, just take her out. So his story was to pick her up, take her out before he leaves. They can have some good time before he head back to the States. On her way to them, it was Lucas' last time to get rid of her, get rid of everything, get rid of all of the evidence of what was going on here. So Lucas picked her up, put her in the car, that went driving around the city, finding somewhere to go. That they drove past a lot of famous places that they have been before. So, Jessica said to him, well, if we're going out to just chill or have a good time, passing by all these places, why are you still driving? He said no, he didn't want to be in that area because he felt unsafe around the people that was there. So he needed somewhere quiet so they should go to. So while they were driving, Lucas decided to pull over on the side of the road in the woods somewhere, and he said he had to use the bathroom. So Jessica would stay in the car. After he done using the bathroom and came back in the car, She grabbed a bottle of water, put water on his hands to wash his hands after he used the bathroom, and they continued the journey. They kept driving. So Lucas came back, he got in the car and started driving again. So they were driving the past a cemetery. Lucas told Jessica that here in America, sometimes they go visit the cemetery, walk around the cemetery to see the name of dead people and just have conversations about people that have passed and stuff like that. So he suggested to her that they both should go in the cemetery. Again, she refused. She was like, I'm afraid I don't do a graveyard, so I'm not going with you in the cemetery. So they got back in the car, driving yet again. They make another stop. He said something is wrong with his tired, right? Is it the car tired? So they put over on the side of the road. He got out. He asked her to get out to help him. So she got out. He give her a jack, to jack the car up. So while she was on the other side, he was on the other side, jacking the other side. He said, right. So while she was trying to help him out, he came from behind her with the jacking bar that they used, the little bar used to jack the car up, and then he was in his hand, and then he walked behind her. He said to her that he think that she had something in her hair, so he went partying because she had a wig on. So he went partying it to actually get a clean hit, right? So after he cleared it out, he hit her in the back of the head with the metal bar that he had in his hand, and then she passed out. In her state of confusion, she didn't know what to do, so she started spazzing on the floor, having a serious convulsion on the floor when he hit her. And then she said that in her explanation, she got up, she got out of that really fast. She got up, and then he pushed her back on the floor, and then that's when he put a knife up and tried to decapitate her. I hope TikTok don't flag this picture. This is for education purpose only. This is what it looked like when he tried to, slaughter her. This is what it looked like. But luckily for her, when they make the first stop, there was a young man that was nearby that was observing them, and he kind of noticed something, unusual. So he kept following them slowly on a motorbike without, making his presence known, but he kept following them. So when he observed that when Lucas now had hit her in the head with the bar and then got over her with the knife trying to decapitate her, that's when he intervened with the stick. So when he did that, and also he started screaming, and everyone, people that was around the area that were walking by, cars that were driving by, or the bikers, when they heard that, they all came to see what was going on. And then Lucas got in his car and tried to drive up, and I guess the chase after him was able to capture him, and took him to the police station. So now when the news was actually broke about Lucas being arrested, his church released this statement. So his church asking the church member or urging church member to pray for Lucas because Lucas was robbed in Liberia while he was doing the Lord's work. They took his cell phone, took his money, and they stole his vehicle, damaged his vehicle, trying to cover up what Lucas was already arrested for. The story is to be continued.